Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Police to step up efforts to stem criminality, restore public order. Assistant Commissioner Gary Griffiths, head of the Area 5 Police, says despite gains made last year, there are some areas of criminality and lawlessness that must be addressed this year. Speaking at a town hall on Sunday evening, ACP Griffiths admitted that there were some categories of crime that the police weren't able to treat with as good as we would have wanted. He said the police will ramp up efforts to address break-ins, while murders, robberies, and public order are also areas of concern. Area 5 covers the police divisions of St. Andrew North, St. Catherine South, St. Catherine North, and St. Thomas. Despite CSEC probe, business as usual at Stearton Academy. It appears to be business as usual at Stearton Academy in St. Anne on Monday morning, with students and members of staff milling about for the first day of the school term. Principal Omar Mongol, who the Ministry of Education advised to stay off the job to facilitate an investigation into alleged irregularities during last year's CSEC exam, was among those at work. He could be heard over the school intercom, providing words of encouragement to his school family as they embark on the new school term. Alisa Riley, a parent at the institution, told reporters that she was ecstatic about taking her son, David Barrett, to school on his first day. This morning, I heard that school wasn't keeping because of the whole situation that is happening now. But I still came, and I feel good when I came and see that school was in session because of my son is just starting in grade 7, and he was excited, she said. Last week, Mongol told reporters that classes would proceed as normal today, despite a directive for him and for teachers to be on leave. The Overseas Examinations Council, OEC, has launched a probe led by the school's unexpectedly impressive showing in May to June 2022 sitting of examination for Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC). However, Mongol has maintained that results were solely the fruit of dedication and hard work. One suspect accused of killing missionaries in St. Mary considers guilty plea. Dwight Henry, one of the men accused of killing 2 missionaries in St. Mary in 2016, is contemplating entering a guilty plea. This was disclosed in the Home Circuit Court yesterday morning by his attorney, Diana Jobson. Ms. Jobson told the court that she needs to have what she calls a mature discussion with her client regarding the details. Attorney Leroy, who is representing Mr. Henry's co-accused Andre Thomas, has indicated that his client intends to proceed with the trial. The matter, which was scheduled to begin on Monday, has been adjourned until Tuesday. Dwight Henry and Andre Thomas are charged with the murder of Randy Hillsdale, 48, and 53-year-old Harold Nichols. Mr. Hensel was found dead in Wentworth District, St. Mary on April 30, while Mr. Nichols' body was found on May 1, 2016. The two were reportedly last seen alive when they left Tower Isle, St. Mary, on motorcycles about 8 a.m. Report on treatment of Jamaican farm workers in Canada expected by February. The task force established to investigate allegations of poor treatment of Jamaican farm workers in Canada is expecting to submit its report to Labour Minister Carl Simoda next month. The report was expected in November, but according to chair of the task force, Helen Davis-White, her team has not yet completed its analysis of the findings. We got the raw result from the survey in December, and we are awaiting the actual report for the survey so that we could complete the entire report that we haven't gotten yet, she said. Mrs. Davis-White said the outstanding survey report should arrive this week, which will allow the task force to develop its findings, recommendations, and finalize its own report. She said the final report should be completed by the first week of February. Members of the task force interviewed about 600 Jamaican workers from 70 farms. Labour Minister Carl Simoda established a special fact-finding team in September after being urged to investigate the conditions under which several Jamaicans were working on some Canadian farms. St. Anne Supermarket gutted by fire. The L&M supermarket in Salem, Runaway Bay in St. Anne was gutted by fire on Monday morning. Reports are that the fire started around 1:40 a.m. No injuries have been reported. Public Relations Officer for the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Emilia Ebanks, said 3 units were deployed to the location. We received a call at 1:46 a.m. that there was a fire at the L&M supermarket in Salem, Runaway Bay. We responded with 2 units from St. Anne's Bay and 1 from Brownstown. The supermarket was located on the ground floor of a 2-floor building, he stated. Ibang said investigators are trying to ascertain the cause and extent of the damage. The fire was confined to the interior of the supermarket. At the height of it, we had 19 firefighters on location. We have investigators trying to ascertain not only the cause of the fire, but the extent of the damage in terms of losses. We didn't get any reports of any deaths and/or injuries. PEP preparations advance, says Williams. Preparations for the primary exit profile PEP are far advanced, according to Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams. Grade 6 students are scheduled to sit the ability test on February 16, performance tasks in language arts on March 22nd, and mathematics on March 23rd. The curriculum-based test in language arts and science on April 26, and mathematics and social studies on April 27. Williams, in her back-to-school message on Sunday, said that engagement with the National Standard Curriculum is an important part of the process in getting students ready for the assessment. The curriculum-based test and the performance task require that students use the knowledge, skills, and concepts to which they should have been exposed to be adequately prepared for these tests, she noted. The Education Minister said that PEP Online portal remains an invaluable support resource for students. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry has been moving forward in the implementation of the Education Transformation Initiatives. We are committed to continue engaging in dialogue with our school communities, our key stakeholders, and the wider public through a variety of communication channels to get support for the continuing transformation of the education sector, Williams said. She said that the ministry will also continue to focus on implementing the recommendations of the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission, JETC. The Professor Orlando Patterson chaired the commission in its 2021 report put forward recommendations aimed at establishing a comprehensive strategy to improve students' performance and educational productivity across the sector. Already, gains have been made in the areas of governance, administration, leadership, and legislation, early childhood education, teaching curriculum, and teacher training, tertiary education, and infrastructure and technology. Reid co-accused to return to court April 3rd. Former Education Minister Will Reid and former Caribbean Maritime University President Pinnock, along with their 3 co-accused, are to return to court on April 3rd, pending the outcome of a judicial review. The new mentioned date was set on Monday morning in Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. Reid, his wife Sharon, and his daughter Cheryl, Pinnock, and JLP Labour Party counsel for the Brownstone Division Kimbron Lawrence all appeared for the mention. The date was agreed on by attorneys representing the Financial Investigations Division FID and the 5 accused, after Senior Parish Judge Jacqueline Wilcott noted that it was better to have them return after the judicial review. The hearing for that review is set for February 6 and 7. The Supreme Court is to review a court ruling that Reid and his co-accused has a case to answer over their alleged corrupt actions. Chief Parish Judge Jester Crooks had ruled last February that the accused who are implicated in the multi-million-dollar fraud case had a case to answer. The judge's ruling was in response to a preliminary objective raised by Pinnock and Reid on the basis that the charges against them should be nullified as the Fed, which leveled the charges, had no authority in law to arrest or charge them. Reid and Pinnock took issue with the decision after Crooks declared that he was recusing himself from the trial because of the perceived conflict of interest and sought a judicial review. It was later revealed that the conflict was in relation to the judge's attendance at Monroe College while Reid was head boy. Justice Wilcott said that on April 8 would give all parties involved sufficient time to prepare after the outcome of the judicial review. The 5 have been charged with a range of offences including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at common law, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Investigators have alleged that nearly $50 million of public funds were diverted to personal use of Reid and Pinnock through several schemes including one of the managed the Career Advancement Program, Youth Employment Solution Program. The FID is being represented by attorneys Richard Small and Sean Stedman, while Hugh Wildman and Caroline Jock are the 2 attorneys representing the 5 accused. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.